Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Danny Tarkanian joins us. He's a Douglas County Commissioner now running for CD2 against Mark Amade. Here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Brian Culpa Photography was born in the rolling hills of Massachusetts, and now he can help you experience the stunning beauty of Nevada in a whole new way through the power of flight. Flying has always been a passion for Brian, and at Brian Culpa Photography, he can make your imagination soar. Brian has the creative mind and tools to tell your unique story. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low, and our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way, because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're pleased to welcome back to the program for his millionth appearance on the show, Danny Tarkanian. He is a Douglas County Commissioner and now a candidate for CD2. Welcome back to the program, sir. Thank
you. It's been a while, though.
Well, fine, but we have family members on here, so we're keeping the Tarkanian name well alive here. So, all right, I talked to a lot of people in Douglas County, and they were surprised at your announcement, or a lot of them were. And the big question is, why are you running against Mark Amade when you finally won a race and you're only 2 years into your commission seat?
You know, Sam, this is a really difficult decision. I'm enjoying my work on the county commission. The thing I enjoy the most about it is getting the great feedback from the residents that say, hey, you had the guts to stand up and do what was right and protect the interests. You know, you speak it for the people that don't have a voice. It's exactly the things my mother told me she was so proud of when she was on the city council. So I didn't make this move lightly, but I, like so many others around the country, they're looking and seeing what's happening to our country. And what's happening is results of Washington, D.C. 2 million illegal immigrants coming across our country just last year alone, looking for the promised citizenship to the United States. You look at the budget, the skyrocketing budget, where the debt's at $30 trillion and inflation is going out of control. And then you see that we give $500 million a year to Planned Parenthood, an organization that performs the most abortions of any organization in the country and harvests body parts. You look at 4 years of Donald Trump, where they attacked him for all these stories, most of which were false and not valid, like the Russia collusion. We find out Hillary Clinton's behind the Russia collusion. You have 3 years of that. And then they had the first impeachment hearing where they investigate President Trump on the Ukraine call. And all that it was a political move. It was done so that it would weaken President Trump for his reelection.
Okay, all right. Hang on a second. You brought up a whole bunch of issues. Let's deal with some of them. But the most important one is that you have a multi-term congressman in Mark Amade. If there is a red wave, as most pundits believe, even Democratic pundits believe, then Mark Amade would be in the majority and would likely have a chairmanship on the Appropriations Committee. A lot of people are questioning why you would challenge him in a primary when he has the goodwill of a lot of people across CD2.
Okay, so I was trying to answer that before you just cut me off. So all those things that I just mentioned there, those weren't just Democrats who voted for those things. That was Mark Amade that voted for this thing. Citizenship for illegal immigrants, $500 million to Planned Parenthood, first Republican to come out and support President Trump's first impeachment inquiry. You watch all the things that are going on, the taking of our personal liberties and freedoms, whether it's a COVID vaccine mandate, forcing our young kids, my 12-year-old, to wear a mask all day long in school, the taking away of the safeguards of the elections. You never heard Mark stand up for any of those things, never heard him defend those things, fight against those things. So you say, why am I running against Mark Amade? Well, your whole reason and Mark's whole reason for running is because he's been in Congress for so long that he's acquired all this goodwill by voting for every budget so he can bring back some pork to Nevada. So therefore, we should vote him back into office when he's voted against virtually every major issue that the vast majority of Republicans in this district care about. And he's voted against their interests. Somebody had to stand up and vote and run against him. And I didn't make this decision lightly. I wasn't going to run up until Sunday before the filing deadline. And I sat at it was a St. Patrick's Day dinner, and Mark Amade spoke, and he defended that last $1.5 trillion budget. He actually said, hey, look, let's be honest. It was going to pass anyways, so at least I'm honest. I mean, that's what voters, Republican voters hate. They hate it when you just go along to get along instead of standing up and fighting for what's right. That's why Donald Trump was elected in 2016, because he was the opposite of that.
Okay, so let me jump in here. Barbara Vukanovich, I've been doing this stuff a long time, so I got to interview Barbara Vukanovich many, many times. And I remember asking her on more than one occasion why she would vote for a bill that appeared on the surface to be a bad bill in terms of her conservative philosophy. And what she said to me was that there were so many good things in that bill for Nevada that she had to go past those things and vote for it. And I don't think anybody would argue with the fact that Barbara Vukanovich was as strong a conservative as you could possibly get, having been the office manager for Paul Laxalt before she got elected to Congress. So I don't think that Mark Amade is standing at the border opening a chain link fence to let hundreds of people or thousands of people or millions of people come across the border. Again, I go back to what I said earlier. I've been talking to a lot of people, especially in Douglas County, who are in positions of power in one kind or another, and they are all concerned about the fact that finally, after all these years in Congress, Mark Amade has a position to really be a powerful influence in the Congress. If you were to defeat him and to go on and win that election, then you would be number 435 in the Congress, not a potential chairman of a committee with absolutely zero power to do any of the things that you're talking about.
Well, thanks, Sam. You mentioned three things that I want to address, so please give me the opportunity to do so. First of all, Barbara Vukanovich was a wonderful woman, a wonderful public servant, very close friend of our families. And the budget bill she was passing has nothing to do with the ones that Mark Amade just passed. You know how much money Mark Amade brought back for Nevada on this $1.5 trillion budget? You know how much it was? $9 million. You know how much money was spent to promote gender equity internationally in that budget? $2.4 billion. Just because you're getting Mark's taking 30 pieces of silver and selling the entire country down the road just so he can bring back a few crumbs to Nevada. I don't think that's correct. You said that Mark Amade is not at the border with a chain link fence letting people come in. But when Mark Amade votes to give citizenship to illegal immigrants, what do you think that tells people that aren't in the country and they want to come in here? They want to come in here because they get citizenship to the greatest country in the entire world. You entice them to come in and break the laws because you have people like Mark Amade who are voting for it. And then the final thing, No, I can't remember the third one. No, I'm sorry. You had me going so good.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Oh, no, I know. So you said you have all these public officials in Washington, Douglas County, that say Mark Amade should be reelected because he could be in a power position. First of all, that's what people are sick and tired of around the country, saying, hey, I've been in Congress. I'm an establishment politician. I've been there for so long. It's my turn to be in power. Well, you know why Mark's not in power yet after 12 years? 11 years, why he's not in power? Because he's done nothing to help Republicans get elected. He's taken 170,000 from elected GOP congressmen, and he's only given back to 140 to candidates. When you don't help other Republicans get elected, they don't vote for you to be on a leadership position. That's why Mark, after 11 years, still is not on a leadership position. I have shown that I, one, can raise money, and that I help other Republicans, and that I'm a team player. I'll move up the leadership ladder much faster and be in a much more powerful position than Mark Amade is.
Okay, but you have a long ways to go before you will be in that position. And of course, Mark Amade did run the Trump for president campaign in Nevada. So it's not exactly that he and Donald Trump were not connected in some point. Have you spoken? Hang on. Let me ask a question. Hang on. Let me. He wasn't the leader of the Trump for president campaign in Nevada?
He was in 2016, but President Trump gave him the boot in 2020 and removed him from that position and put an unelected official and 2 state legislators in his place instead, because Mark Amade came out and supported President Trump's first impeachment inquiry. So he was not in 2020.
Okay, let me ask you this. Have you spoken with Donald Trump or his people to see if Donald Trump will endorse you in the primary? And what is the status of that possible endorsement?
No, I haven't talked with Donald Trump or any of his staff, but I don't think this race is based upon Donald Trump's endorsement. I would love his endorsement if he wanted to. I don't think it matters. What matters is who's going to vote the way the people in CD2 want you to vote. What kind of policies and positions do you care about? Will you stand up for and vote for? They're not in favor of illegal immigration. They're not in favor of abortion. They're not in favor of huge budgets. They want somebody to stand up and defend their personal freedoms and liberties. And I will do that. And Mark Amade hasn't. That's what this election is about.
The previous Republicans who have represented CD2 in Congress have all been longtime residents of the district. Amade and Dean Hella both grew up in Carson City and attended Carson High. Jim Gibbons was a Sparks High grad. Barbara Vukanovich was born in Fort Dix, Kentucky, but was a longtime Reno resident. You've only lived in the district for a few years. Do you feel that your relatively short time living in CD2 will be a challenge for you in the eyes of the voters? I mean, you've barely established yourself on the county commission.
That's a great question. And it's the same thing that my opponent said about me when I ran for county commission. Hey, you just moved here. You're only here 6 months. You're not going to represent the people of Douglas County. Well, you know what? I get in more emails, one after another from people, residents of Douglas County saying, thank God you ran for county commission. You're the only one that stands up and fights for our positions. You got the courage to stand up to the county staff and the people that have been not taking care of the people in Douglas County. I have had great response from those people because I won them over because of my hard work, tenacity, and honesty. And I'll do the same for the people in CD2.
James Settlemeyer was very involved in helping getting you elected to the county commission. Have you spoken to him about this potential run, against Mark Amade?
James Settlemeyer is very close with Mark Amade, and he's very close with Dean Heller. He came out against me when I ran against Dean Heller in the U.S. Senate last election. He's going to support Mark Amade, but he's one vote. Okay, he's
also a huge player in Douglas County, and in the Republican Party.
I'm sorry. Settlemeyer's taken positions. Most of the people in Douglas County want to have somebody who's going to represent their interest, not the interest of some establishment politician. Now, Settlemeyer is close with Mark Amade because Mark Amade and Settlemeyer work together on some issues. So Settlemeyer owes them. So, just because you owe somebody doesn't mean they're the right person to run for office. I'm not going to worry if Settlemeyer is against me in this race or for me in another race. I want the majority of the people in CD2 to believe that I will be their best representative on the second Tuesday of June. That's what matters the most, not what some long-term politician says about another long-term politician.
Okay, you're not questioning the integrity of James Settlemeyer, though, are you?
Come on, that's not an integrity slam. No, he's friends with Mark Amade. They've done work together. They owe each other. They've helped each other get elected. Why would that be a slam? What I'm saying is, it doesn't mean that Mark Amade will be a better representative for the people of Congressional District 2. What it means is Mark and Settlemyre have a relationship. What matters to the people of Congressional District 2, and I'm talking about the majority of voters, not the people that go to the Central Committee meetings that hear Mark Amade come and speak to him every time. What they care about is who's going to vote the way they care the most about their issues. And we talked about that. When you look at illegal immigration in CD2, 80% or more of the Republicans don't want citizenship for illegal immigrants, but Mark Amade votes their way anyways, and he brags about it. They don't want to give taxpayer funding to Planned Parenthood. Mark Amade's on the radio bragging about giving money to Planned Parenthood. Mark wanted to take the position, hey, I want to be transparent and get into the bottom of the Ukraine investigation, even though everybody knew that this was for lack of a better word, a trumped up investigation on President Trump was going to be used against him in his reelection bid. Now, those are the votes Mark Amade did. He can't walk away from those votes. And most solid conservatives with honesty would not have voted that way for the people of CD2.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back more with Danny Tarkanian. He's taking on Mark Amade in the primary for CD2 on the Republican side. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerhour, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. One of the things I love about the Carson Valley Inn here in beautiful downtown Minden is CV steak. I have eaten here so many times. Tell folks what they can expect when they come here to eat.
It's a beautiful room, great service. We have certified Angus beef, seafood, lamb, a great range of appetizers, and wonderful desserts. Jean-Michel's done a great job of selecting some beautiful wines for us. The customers love it, and we've got a great selection of cocktails as well. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Danny Tarkanian. He is a candidate for CD2 in the primary against Mark Amade. Danny, Amade said on this show last week that he has a 95% record when it came to voting for bills that supported President Trump. He said, if that isn't good enough, then you got me. Can any Republican argue with 95% in step with the former president?
I have no idea what his record is voting with President Trump, but I do know this. He has a 60% lifetime rating with Club for Growth. He has a 60% lifetime rating with Freedom Works. He has a 61% lifetime rating with Heritage Action Group. He has a 68 rating this past year with the American Conservative Union, and he has an F with Mark Levine's Liberty Group. Those are the most conservative groups out there, and every one of them have him at the very bottom of all the Republicans in office. And don't forget, Sam, this is a safe Republican seat. This isn't like he's in a competitive Democrat district where he's trying to win over the Democrat votes. He's in a safe Republican district, and he has the lowest ratings with all of those conservative groups.
But on the other hand, wouldn't you say that it's more important that the voters of CD2 make this decision, not these national groups that may be, in some cases, more conservative than the folks who are voting in CD2?
Yeah, I believe the voters in CD2 are very conservative voters. I bet you there's a lot of them that feel we should have fiscal responsibility like Club for Growth demands, or a lot of them that believe that our freedoms and liberties should be protected like the Freedom Group. I bet you there's a lot of them that listen to Mark Levin on the radio and they all believe him mostly of what he says. That's what this whole race is going to be about. I'm glad you brought that up. This race is going to be an issue-oriented race. Do you believe in the votes that Mark Amade has taken for you? Citizenship for illegal immigrants, taxpayer money for Planned Parenthood, Trump's impeachment, or do you want somebody who's going to vote more conservative the way that they feel? And
okay,
I believe that's why I'm going to get elected.
Okay, so are those really your three issues? Is that it?
No, I mentioned a fourth issue. He didn't stand up and defend any of the freedoms or liberties that would be taken away from us over this past year. And I think that's the one that upsets the people the most. Let me ask you, can all of you listeners, can you think, what did Mark Amade say when they forced that COVID mandate down our throat? What did Mark Amade say or do when they forced our young kids to wear masks 24 hours? What did Mark Amade do when Nevada passed these election laws in the middle of the night that took away the safeguards of free elections? And then again, he was in Washington, D.C. They tried to pass these same things. Did you hear Mark Amade speak out on the congressional floor? Did you hear him pass a bill to try to stop it? Did you see him on any talk shows where he talked about it? Did you even see him tweet anything? No, you didn't hear a peep from him.
Okay, let's ask one more quick question here. Mark Amade said on this show that there was no voter fraud in the 2020 election for CD2. Do you agree? And if elected to Congress, what would you like to see in terms of election integrity?
That's great. Well, first of all, that just shows how little Mark Amade is being honest with the Nevada people. He doesn't know if there was election fraud or not. What I can tell you is this. I asked the Nevada State Party on 2 occasions, please show us the ones that are black and white voter fraud that you're claiming that's happened. You said so many thousands of people died and voted. So who are those people? And the Nevada State Party wouldn't produce them to me. So I have no evidence that any of that happened. But I do know this, that the Democrats passed legislation at the very end to make it much more easier to vote and take away all the safeguards of free elections. And that includes universal mail-in ballots and ballot harvesting. Now, I spoke with the Deputy Secretary of Elections, and I asked him, well, what about the fact that the Clark County, the largest voting block in the state, lowered the signature verification levels for these ballots to the lowest allowed under the manufacturer? And he said, yeah, there's a lot of problems with verifying these signatures, but we're working on it. I said, how can you make sure that the integrity of elections are there when you allow ballot harvesting? And you know what he told me? I can't. There's no way we can maintain the integrity of elections with ballot harvesting.
Okay, we have to hang on. We have to take another quick break, and then we'll be right back. Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years.
Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
The Do It Right guys at Nevada Heating have one mission. Your air conditioner breaks down today. We fix it today. Why sweat for days while your air is down when Nevada Heating can get the job done today? and you can get cool again. For nearly 50 years, locally owned Nevada Heating has been getting the job done right. Call today at 323-5585 or see us online at nevadaheating.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Danny Tarkanian. He is candidate for CD2, running against Mark Amade in a primary. They are going to debate on this program in a couple of weeks, and we're very much looking forward to that. How do you think the people in Douglas County are going to feel if you give up on your county commission seat, if you were to win, after they voted you in? And this was really the only election, general election, and that was essentially one in the primary that that you've actually won in.
I'm not sure if you're talking about my election results or you're talking about what I can do for Douglas County the most. So let's talk about the latter one, okay? One of the hard decisions was making a move from the Douglas County seat to the Washington, D.C. And I did that because I know I could be much more effective, much more valuable to the people of Douglas County by being in Washington, D.C. They've never had a congressman from Douglas County. I would be the first one. And I just heard our county commissioner, the guy who's in favor of Mark Amade, say, hey, you know what we need the most? We need to bring back some of this money from the federal government to some of these projects here in Douglas County. And they haven't done that with Mark Amade. Well, I'm from Douglas County, or at least I'm living here now with my family, and I'll be a great advocate for the people in Douglas County, in Washington, D.C. And they deserve a vote back there. They deserve a vote.
And we will look forward to you and Mark debating right here on this program very soon. Thank you so much for doing this, Danny. Always good to see you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate being on.
And we'll be right back.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Do you play golf? The Optimist Club of Reno is hosting the inaugural Ray Pezzanella Memorial Golf Tournament on June 3rd at Red Hawk Golf Club. For more information, go to pezgolf.org. Funds raised to go to benefit local children's programs.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also check our archive going back to 2005 on our website. Again, nevadanewsmakers.com. We'll see you on the next show.